I mean, he's a freshman last year. He broke 3 school records. His first start, he broke a school record, 11 receptions. So it's exciting to see, but just knowing you have guys like that play hard all the time. So it is. We wish the best for Sean. He was a very good running back, but we are very excited about what we have and what we're dealing with now.
You've improved year after year here at Syracuse. Do you feel there's kind of an added pressure as you start to get closer to
No, I don't. I was actually reading this morning in Luke about not being anxious, but the biggest thing is just adjusting, knowing where I'm at and where I'm trying to be, and being content with that. And it's always a process, and just knowing that the story that I've had, and just it'll add to my testimony. Eventually, one day, getting moved to receiver, and then coming here, and I've had 5 different OCs, but we will be better as an offense this year, and I have no doubt about that. And it's going to be fun because we're going to be explosive, scoring points, and just trusting in that. I've been blessed and grateful for the opportunity that I have to be here, and I try not to. I don't put pressure on myself. I mean, I want to go out and perform to the best of my ability, but just trusting in my God-given abilities and going out and having fun and being the best leader, teammate, and brother to the guys. And that's my goal every day. And as long as I play as hard as I can, I left it out there. There's nothing else.
I also spoke to your high school coach the other day. He kind of compared you to Taysom Hill a little bit.
Who is that? Who did you talk to? E-Step? Okay.
Yeah, he compared you to Taysom Hill a little bit. You mentioned that you switched from wide receiver. You've had kind of a versatile background. What do you have to say about maybe you mentioned he doesn't know what coaches would do with you maybe in the NFL or something like that. Would you have any interest in, trying something else out ever?
I mean, if I had to, but at the end of the day, from the feedback I've been given, is I'm a quarterback through and through, and it's the position of leadership, and at that position, that's what I'm built for. And that's the skill sets and the personality that God gave me. And but just continuing to grow in that, and everybody plays different, and but just continuing to grow and develop. And I think this year will kind of even seal that stamp. But no, it's been awesome. But yeah, Taysom, I mean, he's done well. But no, I'm a quarterback through and through.
How much of an adjustment will it be with the new clock rule as a quarterback managing the game and not having the clock stop after first down?
I'm unaware of that. I did not know that was a thing.
You did not know? No. So the clock's not going to stop after a first down until after.
Well, that'll be different for a 2-minute drill. I don't think it'll be on standard downs. I don't think that would be as big of a deal. But the 2-minute situation is something we rep a lot too. And historically, we've been very good at it just because of how much work we've had in it. And I think even my first year, we were in that position 4 times. And every time we went down and scored, either scored and tied it or won the game. Last year we were in that position. We were one time we didn't get the Clemson game. I threw a pick at the end of it, but and I was barely hobbling around. I still feel like if I was healthy, I'd be able to go down and score. But so it'll change that. That's the biggest thing. Besides that, I don't think we pretty much play. We play with a little bit of tempo, and we go fast.
For a team that wants to go fast, it's probably less of an adjustment.
No, I don't think it'll be as big of a deal.
What makes your teammate over there and the best tight end in the conference?
I mean, his skill set, he's big, he's lean, and he's versatile. And I think, obviously, the skill sets that he has, he's a great route runner, creates separation, and he doesn't have to run a million miles an hour to create separation. Another thing is he sees the field very well. He's a student of the game, and we watch film together. So the biggest thing is I know what he's going to do, and we know where the ball needs to go, so he can run against different looks, the same route, and he will find the space and settle. Versus just most guys will just run through zones, and he does a phenomenal job of that. And we've gotten other players seeing him do that. They've been able to do that. And so it's a lot easier on me when you have 5 guys working to get into space and get open versus clearing out and just running through zones. When you got 5 guys trying to get open, it's a lot easier to connect, and that's why our completion percentage was so much higher.
Mark just called Orende a tight end, and Orende just said he's a hybrid. He wouldn't peg himself just as a tight end. Does it matter where he lines up and what he plays as to how effective he is and what he can do?
No, I mean, he's a mismatch against anybody he lines up against. You put him against a corner, he's going to be bigger than him. You put him against a safety, they can't run with him. So put him with a linebacker, that's a touchdown. So It's just a matter of the fact that the skill sets that he has and the ability, and then other guys working in offense with him. And it takes everybody. But and just the personnel sets that we have, we're able to do that. And it starts with Coach Beck, with the creativity that he has, because a lot of teams can't just line up because you think people are going to be able to go cover him after 7 weeks. It is impressive from an offensive standpoint, offensive mind, to be able to get a guy open who's already had 4 400-yard games and be able to go create and get balls to that player. So you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Beck and his staff too as well.
So you mentioned Coach Beck. You lost Robert and I. How important is it though that Coach Beck was elevated and you have that continuity?
Oh, I mean, it's awesome. Everybody in our room and on our team has the utmost confidence in him just because of the man he is, the person that he is, and the excitement he brings to the game. It is genuinely fun to wake up every morning and come and go sit in the meeting room with him, talk football, and talk about how we can beat the opponents, and just using the skill sets and the things that we have and we're good at. And it's been a blessing, and I'm excited what we're going to do this year. And I mean, I already mentioned earlier, look what we did his one game that he called last year in the bowl game. We played against the 5th ranked defense in the country, and we go up for, I think it was 470 yards, give or take. And we were explosive, and even though we didn't necessarily play that great, but we still went out and did that. So starting this year with the identity that we have, the players that we have, the depth that we have, and then just building in this camp, it'll be exciting to see what we do this year.
You 100% physically right now, or are you still coming back?
No, I'm still getting there. There's a lot. That's the biggest thing is getting guys healthy, make sure we're ready for the year. And I think there'll be a little buffer process even as we start the season. But no, I think that we'll be capable, and we might have to adjust to that, to what things we're able to do. But I know by the time we get to the meat of our schedule, we should be humming and rolling and being ready to go.
Speaking of that, I mean, in terms of the second half of the season, to avoid that slide that you guys had last year in the second half of the season, what's the key to not repeating itself?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just staying healthy. That's inevitable. You know, like Coach said in there, we had 7 starter, like important players that we were like, what are we going to do? And so we had to evolve with the identity and roll with the punches. But if we can do that, and we've taken steps off the field in the facility, nutritionist, strength, the way we strength train words, but all of those things and the recovery aspect of it, we've done all that stuff this year more than we did so last year, so we can do that. And rather than just say it. And that's the unfortunate part is because we had such a squad last year that we could have taken a lot further. And but I'm excited with what we have this year too. And even the year before that, I mean, we lost 4 games by 3 points. So combine that and how we started last year, and then we were beat up, and then what we have this year, just the experience. We know what different things we can do. We have more depth, more skill. It's going to be exciting.
Do you like the non-divisional schedule now? The fact that you just have the 3 traditional rivals, so to speak, and there aren't divisions, so you're not looking at it that way anymore. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to go out and play and beat whoever you're playing against. So I mean, I'll start there and taking it week by week. But I mean, I think I'm excited. I think they're doing an interesting thing, and all the athletic directors in the conference decided to. I think they said it took 12 years to play home and away with every team. So. And you get to play some other teams, and historically, people would argue that our side of the conference is tougher. And but I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's fun to go play. It's nice this year to be able to go down and play Carolina at home, playing VT again, and they're all because it's close to my house. Georgia Tech, not too long, so be able to get some family and friends out there. I think that's why, selfishly, that's why I'm excited. But I think it's a good idea, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes and whether it levels out. Time will tell. But I feel like the conference is pretty open right now, so it'll be fun.
You mentioned earlier that you were still getting back healthy. I wanted to know, how are you guys looking at to step up in the quarterback position when you're not always at your best?
Well, I got to be at my best, and that's the biggest thing. And we need. It's a learning process with the guys that we have, just trying to bring them along. And but I think the biggest thing is, when I wasn't healthy last year, you could see a clear drop off in play and the way. Even when I was playing, I wasn't able to be as effective, just given the circumstances, especially with other guys. At the end of the day, you're only as good as the guys around you. And so I think that's the biggest thing is so for me to be healthy. But just the other guys continue to learn and grow, and we got a long way to go, all 4 of us. So, but it takes a group, and we got a good group, and led by Coach Beck, obviously. But we got a good group of guys, and just got to continue to grow together and make sure we're always getting better and making each other improve.
Garrett, last year was billed as the year of the quarterback in the ACC. And this year, I believe 12 of the 14 teams have got quarterbacks here. So is this kind of the year of the quarterback 2.0, or when you look around the league, what do you think?
I think so. At the end of the day, like, ACC has always been known for high-power offenses and playing against solid defenses, skilled defenders, solid defensive lines, and linebacking cores. So I don't know. I mean, time will tell. We'll find out. It's better to be about it than talk about it, so we'll find out.
And what was your injury again?
I had an ankle and my elbow. I got done.
3 quick questions for you. And I'm Jennifer Lewis, and you social media. So, Gary, my first question, what was your favorite play that you did last season?
Favorite play? I think the most memorable one was the Purdue game, especially after we had a lot of circumstances going to that game. I felt like everything we were doing early on was wrong. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And it was just a tough game to play in. And then we ended up pulling it out and winning. So that last touchdown that Rondé caught. It was bittersweet because everything was going wrong, and then we found a way to win.
Yeah. Then my other question is, while you're here in Charlotte, are you going to be able to take your teammates and coach out to like one of your favorite restaurants? And if so, what restaurant is it?
I wanted to. Yesterday would have been the day, but we're going to Bojangles after this.
Oh, I mean, you got to take them.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's happening.
I love the answer. Thank you.
Hey, Garrett, last year when we got a chance to talk, I asked you about your legacy and what type of legacy you would like to leave in Syracuse. And you responded about your leadership and doing things in the community. First question is how are things going with that so far? And are things going pretty good on that front?
Yeah, it's been awesome. We've had a lot more outreach this year. We've been a lot more involved at the rescue centers and different other nonprofits and humanitarian things. And that's just, we try to do that out of just the goodness and being able to serve. Christ came to serve, so will I. You know what I mean? But I think the biggest thing for us is my legacy. I want to be in the man that I was, in the leadership that I had, and just the brotherhood of my teammates. And I like to think that they genuinely know that I love them, but I don't always come across that way when I'm trying to get them to be in a certain spot, or because I will yell at them. And so I've been working on that, just my delivery and how to coach guys and bring guys along. But because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your teammates. So
we're in the big room right now. Everybody said this. So we're in the big room. They were talking about my little swag, and they said, "Hey man, you the swaggiest person up there." And I saw the thumbs down. So obviously, you feel like you got the most swag. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I'd give it to myself, but we always joke about. He mentioned his body, so we always joke about that. And he's a lot more cut now, but no, he does come ready, looking good. And a lot of guys put a lot of, and more the DBs. Those guys are pretty boys when it comes to game day. So, and we got a couple offensive linemen, which I'm excited, who like to dress up. Because most guys do not care. So we got some offensive linemen who try to dress. They got the sleeves on, the towels. It's like, bro, you don't even need that. So it's fun to see. Thank you.
I cover Clemson. So every time we mention Syracuse Clemson players, there's a smile on their face. They nod their heads and shake. What is it about these two programs that when you meet them, it's always slow down, drag out?
I think just the reputation that Coach Sweeney has and that program, and that he's built. They're obviously one of the best teams in the country typically, and so keeping that in mind, most of the time Clemson's going to get everybody's best, and it's hard to sustain that and continue to win games knowing that everybody's going to give you their best punches every week. But besides that, I mean, I'm confident in the ability and the skill that we have of our players, and we can play with anybody in the conference. There's no doubt. I truly mean that. There's not a team that we can't line up against when we're healthy and we can beat them. And so you combine those two things, I think that that's probably the reason for it, and then just the hype behind the game and just knowing who Clemson is and historically who they've been, but and just the team that we've had. And so this year, I think it's our year to take them down, hopefully. And we got to be ready to play but take it 1 week at a time, and I'm excited.
It always seems like there's always a little bit of smack talk going on out there too. It looks like there's a lot of jawing going on.
That's the nature of the game, and last year that was the game where we started seeing the injuries and the things coming out, and we were fighting to get through that game, and at the end of it we were just glad to get out of there alive, and no, they got a great program and historically, so it'll be a fun one. You thought the last two were good. This one, I think this year will be much more exciting too. So.
We've got Yankee Stadium